What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes, and today I'm going to be talking about CYL2 Legends 2 Weapon Refines, the new Pirate Banner, the summoning changes, and many more topics that were revealed in today's FEH channel. Let me know in the comments about your opinion on these topics as well. So let us get started with CYL2 Legends 2 Weapon Refines that we're getting in September. So a lot of people did expect this because CYL2 Legends 1 units also got Weapon Refine last year, so this year obviously CYL2 Legends 2 was gonna get their chance, and we do have Veronica getting a Weapon Refine as well, which is really surprising because she was already so up ahead of all of the other healers, and she had a preferred staff which did make her stand out compared to a lot of the healers which are just outdated or just really old. So I hope this means that the other healers can also get Weapon Refines eventually, and if it's not that case, then it would be really sad because Veronica was already one of the best staff units in the game. So this was not really shown in the English FEH channel, but in the Japanese FEH channel they did show the icon of the Weapon Refine, and by this we could definitely speculate what kind of Weapon Refine this would be, as well as the interaction between her and Brave Celica. So if you take a look at the icon of the Weapon Refine, it's quite similar to Yado's Refine, where you have this person and there's this glowy thing behind their head, and this usually means it's a supportive Weapon Refine in my opinion, and it also has all of the 4 colors, which means that this is a spectrum Weapon Refine in a sense. And we don't really see this in action, but basically Brave Celica does way more damage to Surtur than she could do, and Veronica didn't really buff her up or debuff Surtur. The only thing that was present was an attack tactic buff on Veronica, so that's why that leads us to believe that this could be a Kitsune Fang type of Weapon Refine that Kaden has got, where she will basically give the buffs to the foe during the combat depending on what kind of visible buffs that she has got going for her. So if you give her attack tactic buff, then she's going to be providing +6 attack buff during the combat to the foes near 2 spaces or something like that. So I think it's definitely going to be something like that, and this would have great synergy with her staff because she can buff up all of her own stats and also debuff the stats of the enemies. Or if this is not a supportive Weapon Refine, which is highly unlikely, I think this is definitely supportive, then it could also have a Spectrum Push Refine where she just gets +4 to all of her stats during the combat, and I think this one is highly unlikely. I think this is definitely going to be a supportive type of weapon. And then we have the Weapon Refine of Brave Celica. This was a really needed one because Brave Celica just is in such a competitive pool, and even when she came out she did have a lot of competition, so this Royal Sword Refine, which we saw in action, most likely gives her +4 or +5 to all of her stats during the combat, and then heals up Celica for 7 HP after combat. It does show that she only heals up 6 HP, but there's 1 damage taken from Double Lion when she's at 100% HP, so that's the thing. And this is really great because this can synergize with Double Lion and just restore it, which is amazing. And it also has a mini special spiral built into it, kinda like Yarne's weapon, which gives her -1 special cooldown after the combat, so she's able to use Gale Force much better. And this is looking like an insanely good Weapon Refine for Brave Celica, which makes her a really good player phase and Gale Force unit, because like Royal Sword can just give her the special cooldown reduction, and Double Lion just allows her to have this Brave effect on her sword. And if we combine that with the Weapon Refinery effect, she could consistently do that, and that makes her very strong. We also have Brave Ephraim's Weapon Refine, so this likely gives +5 to all of his stats during the combat, and it heals 7 HP per hit as we saw in the combat, and that is pretty similar to Minty Cane Plus or Fallen Celica's Weapon Refine. So healing is definitely a really good thing for a tank like him, and the extra stats are just much needed for a unit like him who is quite old. And I remember when Brave Ephraim came out, like after 2-3 months, we got Surtur on a 2-unit banner, and Surtur was just a much better unit with overall stat spread and his insane Sinmara weapon. So definitely felt really sad about Ephraim since then, and he definitely deserves this kind of Weapon Refine. Then at last we have got Brave Hector's Weapon Refine. We don't see this in action again, but we do have its icon, so we could definitely have an educated guess on what it might be. So I think it is going to be having +6 attack and defense during the combat because of the color shading, and the arrows are from directly from null follow-up skill, and there is a cross sign in white which suggests that it has to do something with follow-ups. So because the arrows are from null follow-up and there's a cross sign, I think this could possibly be to negate null follow-up skills on the enemies, because Brave Hector's Space Kit does allow him to double in both phases, and something like null follow-up just completely stops his entire base kit from functioning. So I think like negating null follow-up could be something that he could have, or this could just be the fact that he's able to stop the follow-up attacks of the foes. So that does make him quite tanky, but the latter is quite unlikely. I think this is definitely going to be stopping null follow-up. So those are the Choose Your Legends 2 weapon refines that we saw in the FEH channel, which we're going to be getting in the next month's update. I'm really excited for Brave Celica's weapon refine and also Veronica's. Mainly Veronica's because, you know, I could use her in free-to-play guides and the abyssal stats are just going up and up. So that could be something and that could be nice. But then again, I'm sad at the same time that a lot of the healers are just outdated. So I hope that they can get their weapon refines, and they don't really need any kind of insane effects, just something to make them stand out. We also saw the Pirate Banner, and this is one of the more unique banners that we have got theme-wise, and I'm definitely a big fan of this. So I've just enlarged the stats so you could see it easily and make it out. So he's a colorless flying beast unit, which is absolutely amazing. He has no weapon strangle disadvantage except against Raven Tome units. And being a colorless nuke is going to be amazing and definitely much better than the red color, which his original version had. His weapon gives him -1 special cooldown, which goes really well with Gale Force and makes it a 4-turn cooldown special. His weapon probably gives him a conditional guaranteed follow-up attack as well, because he does make a follow-up attack on the Sword Cavalry. And he has got a new slot B skill. It seems like a flyer exclusive Desperation, because it has got the arrows of Desperation and the flying background of skills like Guidance and stuff. So I think this might be reverse Desperation, kind of like for Seti Tome. So it might have a threshold around like 70% HP or maybe 50% HP. If you're above that threshold, then you're able to get Desperation effect. And this is amazing for a lot of the player phase flyers who are really fast or who can just have the follow-up attacks. And this is something that a lot of flyers need, because flyers don't really have the best slot B skills available. So this seems like a very, very good option. Like on a flyer who can quad attack, just have this reverse Desperation skill. They can attack 4 times before the enemy can even get the chance to attack them. So it definitely seems very, very solid. And he's got a very synergetic base kit for Gale Forcing in general. So pretty optimized unit, and he is going to be extremely powerful with that high attack. And then we have a new harmonized hero after Summer Mia, and it's going to be Pirate, Veronica, and Xander. So it was about time these two would get their harmonized hero, because they interact just so much in their story. And I mean, Xander does give the reason that Veronica kind of reminds him of Corrin, and that's why he wants to protect her. And Veronica also sees Xander as a big brother. So this does make sense, and this was not really all that surprising, honestly. So these are, of course, going to be really useful in Resonant Battles if you're able to get them. And this new harmonized hero is going to be working on Resonant Battles, where Fates and Heroes titles are the bonus titles. And they appear to be a very slow but very, very strong and bulky Axe Cavalier. And it's about time we got a new Axe Cavalier, because the last one we got was in 2018, who was Walhart in July. So like exactly after 2 years, we got Veronica as an Axe Cavalier. Her axe does give her -1 special cooldown, and it also has some kind of conditional guaranteed follow-up attack. So that's really good, because her speed is really low. She definitely needs that kind of thing to double. And a cavalry unit for Resonant Battles is really good. If you're not a cavalry unit or a flying unit, you're kind of dead weight in that game mode. So I think they're just going to be making cavalry and flying units for the harmonized heroes and stuff. She does have attack defense solo 4, lull attack defense, and also attack defense gap. So those are her skills, and definitely a pretty unique unit, because Axe Cavaliers aren't really all that common. Then we see Brigid as a red bow archer. So she's of course going to be facing a lot of competition from someone like a green, and she comes with a new skill called Steady Impact that just likely gives you +7 speed and +10 defense in player phase, and just stops the follow-up attack of the enemy. We've seen this in Blazing Durandal, where this skill is built into it. Her weapon is an inheritable bow, and she does have really amazing stat spread of 37 attack and 40 base speed. So pretty much same attack as a green and 3 more speed points than her. But the thing is that a green has a preferred weapon that's extremely powerful, and it also gives her -1 special cooldown. So green is always going to be a competition for any kind of red infantry archer, as long as they are trying to be offensive. We saw the same thing with Summer Joshua as well. And we also have Geese as the 4-star focus unit of this banner, and Fire Boost is going to be present on his slot, so that just gives away that he's going to be a 4-star focus unit. And he does have infantry pelts, which is actually really good. If he has that at 4-star, that would be amazing. And so far, he seems to be the easiest new generation Lance Infantry unit to +10 merge because of being a 4-star focus unit. Lance Infantry units are, of course, still quite rare, and Geese being a 4-star focus unit does make him a pretty good merge project. He also has a solid base attack of 38 and quite workable speed at 35. He does seem like a pretty balanced unit, does have quite a bit low resistance, but his HP stat is quite high. And then we have our free unit, this time as a Tempest Trial reward, and this is also quite disappointing. So we have got Darros, and he has got Earth Boost. It makes me think that they're definitely going to be giving these boost skills a tier 4 version with how much they seem to be spamming us with these tier 3 versions. So stat-wise, he's very similar to Ross. I don't really see any kind of reason to invest into him unless you really like him over Ross. Ross has got better attack, better resistance, and he also has IVs, which Darros cannot have access to. Darros just seems to have more defense than him, and that's it. So Ross is still much better as a merge project in my opinion, and he's going to be taking 2,700 Grail to +10 merge, so very, very expensive unit. I just hope that his inheritable axe is something good, kind of like Huge Fan Plus, because that would be the saving grace for him, for a lot of people, at least if he could have some good fodder. We are going to be getting this banner on 7th August, which is a Friday, and the Tempest Trial begins on August 8th, which is a Saturday, and there you could get Darros. So let us move on to the other parts of the FEH channel. So, like every year, we got a Thanos snap to the existing units from the summoning pool, and this time they were a lot of the Gen 2 units. So these were the units which got Thanos snapped, which just leads you to believe that they're just going to be Thanos snapping units every year from the summoning pool and then making them into revival banner units basically, and they're not going to be demoting them. So yeah, that just goes out of the window. A lot of people still had hopes for demotion of these like old units, especially units like Leaf, Rajat, Shiro, Siegbert, who don't really have any kind of like reason to be 5-star exclusive. Also Female Morgan, like a lot of these units are kind of outdated honestly at this point. So they're just gonna be on the weekly revival banners, and they do show the dates. So this will be happening alongside the Gen 1 revival banners, and I want to thank Shaler Mercury for this graphic. So it has revival banner dates for both of the banners, and this is gonna be happening for quite a while. So if you have any kind of unit that you would like to invest into, then you could save your orbs for that certain date. We're also going to be getting some new arena maps, and arena is overall a very big dumpster fire because it's insanely hard to stay in tier 21. I got kicked out of tier 21 even though I got 758 per match. So even that was not enough to stay in tier 21, and it seems like even if you have a +10 legendary unit, it still seems like really hard to stay in tier 21. So new arena maps are just adding to the fire in my opinion. Like a few of these maps could be good, but most of these are pretty annoying. Like the first map, it's kind of annoying with all of the forest tiles and stuff. The second map has defensive tiles in a weird position, and you have a lot of forests, which can really be annoying if you want to back up and just save yourselves from the aggression of the enemy units. Then bridge maps, yeah, I just dislike the bridge maps because flying units are really hard to run in arena. They don't really score that much unless they are a duo unit. So bridge maps are very annoying. The fourth map also does have a bridge, but I do see some kind of use of these trenches if you're gonna be against like range cavalry units like Legendary Leaf and stuff like that. So these trenches could be helpful there. And then we see a desert map. This seems decent, I guess. You do have some space to just circle camp in a way. If you have played Smash Bros, you know what I'm talking about. These defensive tiles are just so oddly placed. These maps definitely remind me of the Three Houses maps. I think they're definitely inspired from them. And then we have got the Hero Fest banner. So this has got Sothis, Nagi, Bernadetta, and Duo Ephraim. A really good Hero Fest banner, especially because of Duo Ephraim and how strong he is. Bernadetta is also a very strong bow cavalry unit. Her persecution bow is really amazing with its conditional desperation, which is just so easy to get, and she also comes with some really amazing skills. I'm definitely underwhelmed by Nagi and Sothis. I wish they put someone like Igreen or like legendary Celica in place of them, because Sothis, while she's a good unit, there are just way better red units available in my opinion. And same goes for Nagi. She's an armor unit at the end of the day, and armor units have it pretty hard with all of the effective weapons and stuff. She does have the color advantage against colorless units, but still, you know, at times she can still struggle versus a fully whale Alm and stuff like that. So I wish green and red pool was a bit better. We did know that Sothis was coming early August, so this is where she is gonna be. And we're also gonna be getting summoning tickets, so that just gives better summoning experience. Speaking of summoning experience, there seems to be a really big error from their side. In the FEH channel, they basically said that the updated summoning pool is going to be starting from this Hero Fest banner. And people are still summoning Pity Breakers of Gen 1 and Gen 2 units who are supposed to be Thanos snapped. And that's a big error, honestly, because those Pity Breakers are just so much more worse than the Pity Breakers that we're supposed to be having. And they have acknowledged this on Twitter, but this seems like a really big error in my opinion. And like, I know it's a meme, we always ask for the compensation orbs, but this time, like, the compensation should be something really good. Because people have spent their saved up orbs on this Hero Fest banner only to get pity broken by Gen 1 Lucina, who has absolutely no skills to fodder off for. And they could have maybe got some other red pity breaker who could have been more useful, but so I'm interested in seeing on how they tackle this issue and how they compensate us. As far as I know, at the time of making this video, they haven't fixed this. The Hero Fest banner still has that, and not everyone follows Faye account on Twitter, hardly. So still many people who are not knowing of this issue are still gonna be summoning on Hero Fest and are still gonna be getting pity broken by units who are supposed to be Thanos snapped because they don't really have that good fodder. So that is basically going to be my analysis and I guess discussion of the FEH channel topics we got today. Let me know about your opinion in the comment section down below as well. I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support, and if you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and a comment, helps me tremendously. Be sure to also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as broken as this Hero Fest banner. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.